for today is a very big supporter of volunteerism and live by the motto building community. He believes in openness and transparency and keeping residents of this area well informed about the things going on in the city. Very hardworking, grounded, and humble. I would like to welcome Councillor Jeff Bowman on my show.
Good morning, Ekta. How are you this morning?
I'm good. So nice to see you. How are you doing?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me on today.
Jeff, you passionately devote so much of time in giving volunteer services to the community. You have been a lifetime resident of Brampton, born, lived, worked, and contributed so much to this great city. You believe that there are very significant issues which needs to be tackled. What are some of the issues here that the residents are facing?
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the city of Brampton right now. We are one of the fastest growing cities over the last 20 years in Ontario. We're the 9th largest city in Canada now. You mentioned I'm a lifelong resident here. When I was born here, the population was about 19,000, and now we're approaching 700,000. So, yeah, we've seen a lot of issues, and with COVID, we're encountering a whole different array of issues, everything from business closures to what's going on with the school system here in the city, and homelessness. So, and that's a big one.
Yes, certainly. Homelessness is a very, very big issue. They are one of the most vulnerable residents on the streets of Brampton. How is government handling them?
Well, I'm part of what's called the Brampton Emergency Measures Office. And we've been meeting actually since January of 2020, when we first heard that COVID was active in China and spreading down there. We set up a task force, the Mayor's Social Service Task Force, and I serve on there with Councillor Rowena Santos. And our responsibility since March, mid-March of last year, is making sure that the most vulnerable people in our community, those people who are homeless, those people who can't afford groceries or their rent. We set up a task force to make sure that we can assist them as a city, whether it's getting them food through one of our food agencies, whether it's getting them shelter through the Region Appeal. It was okay in the summer when homeless could set up encampments, and we had over 50 of them in the city. But now it's a totally different story as we head into the winter. Yeah,
I understand this. It's a very hard thing. It's very challenging for the government, especially during the COVID times as well. Things have become very, very complicated. But certainly the government is doing its best to take care of it. What's the reason that the population of homelessness is growing so much? I remember I did a survey a long time back with the city people, I think maybe 3 years back or something like that. And I was meeting everybody on the streets and talking, we were just trying to figure out why they are on streets and the total amount of people on the streets. So, and I believe in these last 3-4 years, the population, the ratio has been increasing like anything. What are some of the reasons why it's increasing?
Yeah, I agree. We've seen a dramatic increase in the city of Brampton, and we've done studies. Of course, COVID has led to a great deal of it. People losing their jobs, those who were on minimum wage jobs who have lost those jobs now find themselves unable to pay for things. But we've also found an influx of people coming from other areas in around the GTA. We have a very good food service program with the Knights Table, with Regeneration, with Kelsa Aid here. And it appears that, some of the other areas that don't have such good services for vulnerable people, those people are now coming to the city of Brampton, where we don't turn anyone away. And they're finding food here, they're finding shelter here. And that's why the situation is growing here in the city of Brampton.
So the government provides food to them as well with the shelter.
Yeah, the Region Appeal, they've set up shelters over the winter for the homeless and the most vulnerable. And our food agencies, they're getting grants, but the donations from the public to our food agencies here in the city during COVID has been phenomenal. I can't tell you how much appreciation I have for the residents and the businesses in the city who have been donating food, money, clothing, tents, everything that we could possibly want to help these vulnerable individuals.
God bless those generous people, May
Yep.
God give them good life, They're doing so much for these people. What are the other issues people are facing? I believe one of them is the housing, because the shortage of accommodation.
That's right. Yes, I've been working with for since 2014 actually on the issue of illegal second units in this city, and right now we've got thousands and thousands and thousands of illegal second units. And now I understand that there is an issue with affordable housing, but the issue here is that a lot of these second units are being taken up as soon as they're opened. And the waiting list, the Peel region waiting list for people who need affordable housing continues to grow. So it's a case of we're adding more and more and more and more, but the list is continuing to grow. And so the main issue for me is safety and security. We have a lot of people who are in these unsafe and unregistered units who are paying $500, $600, $700 and living 8, 9, 10. We've even found between 17 and 20 people living in one residence. Yeah, so it's a critical issue for us, and we've got to make sure that everybody in the city is safe and secure.
Yeah, certainly, that's the responsibility of the government to take care of it.
Yeah.
Talking about the jobs and other things, since it's COVID-19, how do you think government will be able to take care of this job issue now?
That's an interesting question because since last March we've been watching here in the city. I think we overcompensated last March with the shutdowns that we had when our numbers were actually quite low. Our numbers were below 50 cases per day, and we did have a shutdown here which hurt a lot of businesses, a lot of restaurants. And then as the second wave came, and the numbers started increasing. I mean, we've seen numbers in Brampton in the past couple of months that were 400 plus a day. And so we're now in the province of Ontario shut down, as are many businesses, curbside pickups. Businesses can't survive when people are not actually going in and picking up their groceries or picking up their orders. It's one thing to say you can have takeout and curbside service, but it's another thing to say, that we've got the big box stores opened, and the threat of spread from 500 to 1,000 people all at once crammed into a large box store. That's concerning, and the government really needs to look at what we're going to do and how we're going to compensate businesses as we move out of COVID, as the vaccines get out, and as we become more healthy as a community. We really have to look at how our businesses are going to become more healthy, and that's a huge issue.
That is, of course. Okay, let's play the video my production team has made for you.
Sure.
These guys are taking a little time, I guess.
quite a video. Thank you.
I'm glad you liked it. Okay, let's talk about you now. What is it? You're all over the places doing volunteering.
Yeah, I've lived in Brampton my whole life, and Brampton's a wonderful community, very multicultural, and there's so many agencies in the city that need help. I've done a lot of work, since my teens and 20s, actually, with not-for-profit agencies, and it's a way to give back to the community. Right now, the work that we've been doing with regeneration and with the night stable food banks is critical. The food security in this city, we need to really be doing something about that, and that's to understand what the need is in the city. And if there's people in need in the city, it's our responsibility to help those people. And we can't shirk that responsibility, because if everybody just says someone else is going to do it, the bottom line is no one will do it. So, I'm a true believer in giving back to the community and supporting, whether it's the United Way, whether it's supporting United Achievers, any of these groups, any of these social service groups that ask me, I'm pleased to help them.
You're such a thoughtful, such a sweet soul. That's why I said you're the most humble and the grounded counselor around in my city. All the time I see you all the time here and there doing voluntary. And not everybody is like this. People are very commercial and monetary these days. The first thing they ask is, how am I going to be benefited from this?
Yeah, the benefit to me is seeing that people who need help and are vulnerable become less vulnerable and can start doing things on their own and for themselves. That's the real joy of doing this work.
We need more people like you in our society. And how has COVID-19 been treating you personally? Like, you were you're a people's person. You're always there with people here and there. Now, how is it treating you?
It's been very difficult, because I used to attend events probably during weekends and every night of the week. I would probably attend 7-8 events every single week, whether it was after work or whether it was on weekends. Since the lockdown, we've been doing virtual events, but they're just not the same. It's something. There's something to be said for being there with people, being able to shake hands with people, being able to hug someone who is there, a longtime friend, for example. And we've been sadly neglecting that. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the day when we can go out without masks. It is coming. I have no doubt about it. And we just have to be patient for it. But otherwise, we're working from home. Council meetings are all done from home. I'm sitting here in my dining room right now talking to you, and that's how I've been conducting business for almost a year now.
I know that's how we all managing in virtual. Everything is so virtual, like kind of a fed up. How much will you be able to take? How much can one take? The virtual thing as well.
That's right. It's got a tremendous impact, not just on those who need social services, but I think it's got a huge impact on everybody who is isolated at home, especially seniors who may not have computer capabilities, who may not be able to get on a Skype call or a WhatsApp session with family and friends. So, we've really got to look out for these people.
Yes, I think we all have been hit very badly in some or the other way, but certain section like seniors and little kids,
yes,
they have been suffering the most out of this situation. So when are we ending this lockdown and emergency now in Brampton? The last question.
Well, it looks like February 16th, I guess, is the next day we're supposed to end the lockdown. We'll see what the Ford government has to say. I've been following the numbers daily in the region of Peel and in the city of Brampton. The numbers have gone down drastically, but still, we're looking at caseloads of in Brampton 100 to 150 cases a day still here, which is way lower than the 400, but much higher than those 50 we used to see back in April and May of last year.
But then we have to come out. We have to let people come out on the streets now. They can't be indoor throughout.
That's true. We need to get out.
Yeah, It's like inviting other issues, mental health. So we need to bring them out now. We have to let them go out.
That's true. And that's the only way we're going to incentivize businesses to get operating again.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful talking to you. All the work you have been doing for our society is commendable, and I hope you continue to raise awareness about issues in our society through your work. Wish you all the very best for all that you do for our community, for our society, for our Brampton region. God
Thank
bless
you very much, Ekta, and hope to be back on your show at some point in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Stay safe and healthy.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. That was Councillor Jeff Bowman. Wonderful, amazing person, very thoughtful, all the time giving volunteer services to the community. We'll be back after a short break.